Now, ladies, I ain't here to ruin nobody's relationship, but I'm going to tell you something right now. If he doing this in the bedroom, yeah, that place where you're supposed to feel the safest, then he's not just acting funny. He's acting guilty. Let me break it down to you real clear. If a man all of a sudden turned into a whole new bedroom professional overnight, he didn't learn that from you. When a man starts doing some brand new stuff in the bedroom that he ain't never done before, and I'm talking about advanced level stuff like he's been taking notes from somewhere, that's not just growth. That's not he's evolving or he just read an article online. No, that man been practicing. And if he ain't practicing with you, who he practicing with? See, a man don't just wake up one day and become a whole bedroom wizard overnight. He don't go from missionary man to Mr. Acrobat without a little extracurricular activity. Men are creatures of habit. If he's been doing the same 2.5 moves for 5 years and suddenly he flipping you like a pancake, there's a strong chance he didn't learn that from YouTube. He learned that the hard way. Literally. Now, I know somebody out there is thinking, Steve, maybe he's just trying to spice things up. Okay, I'll give you that, maybe. But let's talk about how it happens. Did he come to you? Did he say, hey, baby, I've been thinking maybe we should try something new? Or did he just show up one night with a whole new game plan? With no warning, no conversation. And all of a sudden, he's got you doing stretches you ain't warmed up for. That's not intimacy. That's a performance. And when a man's performing, chances are he's got an audience somewhere else he's practiced for. Men are like microwaves when it comes to change. We don't just jump from cold to hot for no reason. So if he was all slow and steady with you for the last few years, and now all of a sudden he's turning you every which way, talking dirty in a whole new dialect, doing things he never even looked interested in before, that's suspicious. Let me break it down even further. A man who's been in a relationship, especially a long one, gets comfortable. Not always in a bad way, but comfort sets in. And with comfort comes patterns. He got his go-to moves. His playlist don't change. He got that one little thing he do that he think drives you crazy, even if it don't. And he'll keep doing it because it worked once, so that's his MVP. But now he's putting your leg behind your ear and talking like he's been reading romance novels. That's not comfort. That's rehearsal. That man been testing that move somewhere else and decided to bring it home. Let's not pretend like we don't know how this works. You ever notice how when he was learning how to love you, there was a buildup? You two figured it out together. You had awkward moments, you laughed, you tried stuff, you learned what worked. But this is different. This ain't him learning with you. This is him bringing a script he wrote with somebody else and trying to audition at home. Let me give you a little example. If your man has never, and I mean never, been the adventurous type, if he was always a lights off, quiet, keep it, give it kind of brother, and all of a sudden he's bringing whipped cream, handcuffs, and calling you names you ain't never heard from his mouth before, that ain't creativity. That's guilt trying to mask itself as effort. And listen, some of y'all try to rationalize it. Well, maybe he just watched a video. Okay, sure. But even if he did watch a video, who was he thinking about when he watched it? Was he watching it for you? Or was he watching it because someone else got his imagination going? Because when a man is inspired by the woman he loves, he brings you in on the journey. He says, hey, I saw something interesting, want to try it. He don't just start executing on you like you're a substitute. See, the problem is when a man cheats, he still got to come home. And when he come home, he got to act normal. But his guilt don't always come out in obvious ways. Sometimes it shows up in the form of overcompensation. Trying too hard, doing too much, suddenly being spontaneous. And that spontaneity, it ain't romantic, it's suspicious. You got to pay attention to those little switches, the way he touches you, the eye contact, or the lack of it, the rhythm of it all. You know your man, you know his patterns. And if his pattern changes without a conversation, without a build-up, and without your input, then trust your gut. Ladies, you don't need no private investigator when your instincts already been whispering to you. You've just been trying to ignore it because you want to believe he's just growing. But real growth includes you. Real change involves your input. Real intimacy don't just show up out of nowhere. It's built together. If you weren't there to build it, then you got to ask yourself, who was? Let's talk about the part most people ignore because it ain't as loud as the physical signs. I'm talking about emotional disconnection. You see, cheating don't always start in the sheets, it starts in the heart. When a man starts pulling away emotionally, you can feel it before you even see it. His body might still be there, but his spirit, that presence, that connection, it's gone. And if you're laying next to a man and you feel alone, I promise you, something's already gone wrong. Now, I ain't just talking about a man being tired or stressed. Life happens. People go through stuff. But when a man who used to look at you like you were the sun suddenly can't keep eye contact for more than 5 seconds, that's a sign. When he's doing what he's always done physically, same sex, same moves, same everything, but you don't feel nothing, that's not in your head. That's not you overthinking. That's him mentally checking out. See, a lot of women get confused when the sex doesn't stop. Well, he's still sleeping with me, so he can't be cheating. Oh, yes, he can. That man can lay down with you and be thinking about somebody else the whole time. Men can separate the act from the feeling. And when a man's cheating, he'll often keep the physical going at home just enough to keep you calm. Just enough so you don't start asking questions. But trust me, the energy shifts. You ever had him hold you after and it felt empty, like his arms were there but his heart wasn't? You ever felt like the conversation is dying out, like he don't ask about your day anymore, or if he does, it's just routine, no real interest behind it? That ain't just a phase. That's emotional absence. And when emotional absence shows up, physical presence, he used to rub your back, he used to kiss you on your forehead, he used to ask how your mama was doing, he used to laugh at your little stories, even when they weren't funny. But now he sit on the other end of the couch with his phone damn near glued to his hand, nodding at everything you say like a bobblehead, but not hearing a word of it. You tell him you had a rough day, and all he got to say is, that's crazy. That's all you get? That's not a partner, that's a ghost who still lives in the house. And let's talk about the bedroom specifically. When a man is emotionally present, sex is more than just a release. It's a connection. There's kissing, there's eye contact, there's holding hands, there's aftercare, the cuddling, the talking, the softness. But when a man is emotionally gone, the sex starts to feel mechanical. There's no tenderness, no patience, no curiosity. It's like he's just going through the motions, like he got a checklist he's trying to finish before SportsCenter comes on. And if you say something about it, if you tell him you feel a little distant or that the intimacy don't feel the same and he gets irritated, defensive, or tries to flip it on you, that's guilt talking. That ain't confusion. That's not, I don't understand what you mean. That's, I know exactly what you mean and I don't want to admit it. Because when a man knows he's been giving his emotions to someone else, he'll try to convince you're the one tripping just to protect his secret. See, cheating ain't just about sex. It's about access, emotional access. If he used to come to you first with his fears, his thoughts, his dreams, and now he keeps it all bottled up or worse, shares it with somebody else, that's a betrayal too. When he stops letting you into his world, but he's clearly been talking to somebody, that's emotional cheating. Sometimes that's even more painful than physical cheating. Because a man can sleep with someone and feel nothing. But when he starts sharing his soul, his stories, his truth with another woman, that's intimacy. That's what y'all built. And he's giving it away. You ain't crazy for noticing the shift. You're not too sensitive. You're not paranoid. You're picking up on exactly what he's putting down, even if he ain't saying it out loud. Because energy never lies. A man can lie to your face, but his energy will always tell on him. The absence, the coldness, the silence, the lack of effort. That's his guilt trying to hide in plain sight. Let me tell you something else. A good man, even when he's struggling, still wants to connect, still tries to communicate, still makes you feel safe. But a man who's checked out emotionally, that's a man who's already let go. His body's in your bed, but his heart on someone else's phone. And if he already gave away his emotional loyalty, it's only a matter of time before the rest follows. Let me break something down for you that a lot of people don't want to admit, especially men. There's a big difference between sex and intimacy. A man can have sex and still be completely disconnected from you emotionally. Now, that don't mean every time he don't feel like cuddling, he's cheating. But when he consistently avoids everything intimate except for sex, something ain't right. And if he's skipping the connection but still wants the physical, like clockwork, you might not be his only focus. See, when a man truly loves a woman, he craves closeness with her. And I ain't just talking about bodies touching. I'm talking about the type of closeness where you lay there after and talk about your dreams, your fears, your day. When a man's invested, he don't just roll over and snore when it's done. He wants to hold you. He wants you to feel safe with him. He wants to be there not just physically, but mentally. But when a man starts treating sex like it's a job, punching in, get the work done, punch out, and there's no emotion in it, you got to start asking yourself what role you're really playing in his life. You ever notice how he used to be soft with you? He used to take his time, he used to kiss you like it meant something. But now, it's like he on autopilot. Get in, get out, and no real connection. And if you reach for him afterward and he pulls away, turns to the side, picks up his phone, or just straight up falls asleep like he ain't got a single word left in him, girl, that's a red flag waving so hard it should slap you in the face. And here's the kicker. When a man is cheating or emotionally gone, that sex is just maintenance. That's right, he still wants it, not because he's passionate about you, but because he wants to keep things looking normal. See, if he stops having sex with you completely, you're going to start asking questions. You're going to start wondering what's going on. So instead, he gives you just enough. He shows up in bed, but not in heart. And because you're still getting the physical, you might convince yourself everything is fine, but deep down, you feel the disconnect. Let me tell you how slick it gets. He'll show up just long enough to make you doubt your own instincts, like he won't cuddle anymore, he won't talk afterward, but every now and then he'll throw in a little compliment. You'll look good tonight, or you smell nice. Just enough to keep you confused, just enough to make you think, maybe I'm overthinking it. You ain't overthinking it. You're feeling it, but you don't want it to be true. And then you start noticing how it's always about him. He initiates when he wants. It happens on his terms. There's no foreplay, no slow build, just straight to the act like he's checking something off a list. And when it's done, he's out. Ain't no laying there, no rubbing your back, no how you feel, baby, none of that. Just silence. That's not passion, that's routine. That's guilt in disguise. That's a man trying to keep you just close enough so you don't walk while he's already halfway out the door emotionally. Now let's take it one level deeper. Ask yourself how he responds when you want to talk about the relationship. If you say, I feel like we're disconnected, and he brushes it off, tells you you're being dramatic, or shuts down the conversation completely, that's not just a red flag, that's a parade of red flags. Because a man who's truly invested in you, even if he's not the best communicator, will try. He'll sit there and say, okay, let's figure it out. He might not get it right every time, but he'll care enough to stay in the room. But a man who avoids those conversations and only shows up when he wants to get his needs met, that's a man who ain't trying to fix nothing. He's just trying to maintain the illusion so you don't leave. Let me give it to you real. You are not a convenience store. He don't just get to come in, grab what he wants, and walk out without investing anything. You deserve more than just a man who wants your body but not your heart. If the only time he's reaching for you is when he's horny, but he can't hold your hand at dinner, can't talk to you about your day, can't be bothered to ask how you're doing emotionally, what you got ain't a relationship. That's a situation. And most situationships look like relationships until you strip away the sex. You ever notice that? If you took the sex away, what would be left? Would you still feel close to him? Would he still show up for you? Would he still care about your dreams, your peace, your soul? Or would he vanish the minute you stopped being physically available? That right there will tell you everything you need to know. Because when a man is cheating or lining up his options, he don't want to lose the benefits at home. He still wants the home-cooked meal, the security, the good woman image. But he'll keep the intimacy locked up and just collect what he needs. And that, my friend, is not love. That's selfishness wrapped in routine. Let me tell you something about men. When a man ain't got nothing to hide, he don't mind your questions. He might get a little annoyed if he's tired or stressed, sure, but he answers. He explains. He might even laugh it off and say, girl, you crazy. But then he still tells you what you want to know. But when a man is doing dirt, when he knows he's up to something he shouldn't be doing, oh, that's when the defense is coming. That's when he gets real jumpy, real quick. You ever ask a simple question, something like, where were you last night? Or who were you texting? And instead of giving a calm answer, he flips the whole script and makes you the villain. Now suddenly it's, why you always on my back? Or, you don't trust me? See, that ain't a response, that's a reaction. And reactions tell on people. When someone gets too angry about a basic question, they're not mad at your question. They're mad you're getting close to the truth. And the first thing they do, they get loud. Loud to distract, loud to intimidate, loud to make you back down. They want to flip your concern into conflict. So now the conversation ain't about what he might be hiding, it's about how you supposedly don't know how to let a man be a man. Nah, don't fall for that. That's manipulation 101. You came to him with a concern, and now somehow he's yelling about how you need therapy. Come on now. Let me tell you what that is. There's guilt in disguise. When a man starts attacking you, instead of addressing the issue, it's because he already feels cornered. And when he feels cornered, he panics. Now, instead of explaining where he was, he wants to talk about how you're always bringing up old stuff, or how you're too insecure, or better yet, he hits you with the silent treatment. Won't even answer. Just walks away like he's the one who got betrayed. Boy, please. Ladies, you got to know the difference between a man who's confused and a man who's caught. A confused man might not understand your feelings right away. He might say, I don't get why that bothers you, but he'll still talk it through. A caught man, he don't want no conversation. He's trying to shut it down. He's deleting texts while you're talking. He's making mental excuses while you're crying. He's plotting how to gaslight you next time instead of just owning up to what he did. And let's talk about that why don't you trust me line. Ooh, that one right there. That's the favorite one for a guilty man. He'll act like the real problem is your lack of trust, not his shady behavior. But ask yourself, why don't you trust him? Did he give you a reason? Did his energy shift? Did he stop sharing? Did you catch him in little lies before? Because if your gut's been whispering to you for weeks, it ain't paranoia. That's your intuition. And 9 times out of 10, it's right. Now, sometimes the defensiveness don't even look like yelling. Sometimes it's too calm. He gets real quiet, real cold. You ask a question and he says, do what you want to do or believe what you want to believe. That's another defense. That's him emotionally checking out to protect himself, because if he really cared, he'd fight for the relationship, not against you. He'd say, look, I know it looks bad, but here's what really happened. But instead he shrugs his shoulders like your pain don't move him at all. And that's not just shady. That's dangerous. Here's another one. He starts flipping questions on you. You ask where he's been, he hits back with, why are you always keeping tabs on me? You say you don't feel connected, he says, maybe you're the one who changed. Classic deflection. He wants to shift the heat so fast you forget why you even asked the question in the first place. And if he's good at it, he'll have you apologizing for even bringing it up. He'll twist it around so slick, now you sitting there feeling guilty when he's the one hiding something. Listen, a man who's not cheating ain't scared of questions. He might not like being accused, but he'll still have the conversation. He'll try to make you feel better. He'll tell you the truth, not because he's perfect, but because he respects you. But a man who is cheating, every question feels like a trap. Every conversation feels like a risk. So he builds a wall real fast. He gets defensive, disrespectful, or downright dismissive. And that wall, that's not protection. That's guilt trying to hide behind pride. You ever notice when you confront him and suddenly he has to leave the room? Got to go for a drive? Needs space. That ain't space he needs. That's time. Time to get his story straight. Time to delete messages. Time to hit up whoever he's been messing with and say, yo, don't say nothing. That's what that is. You think he's cooling off. Nah, he's covering up. Look, the truth don't need to hide. The truth stands up even when it's uncomfortable. But a lie always needs protection. That's why a guilty man gets defensive, because he's protecting the lie, not the relationship.